Baby after baby after baby, she had lost count. She turned back into a jerry can just inside her door that was full of water and poured out above half a basin. Then spread her feet into red slippers and carried it 2 doors down to the shared baths, where she paid a 500 coin to bathe.
My name is Emily Mendelson. I'm a theater director, and I've been working with some artists here, including Deborah Simwe, Alan Kagusuru, Tony Mwangala, now Ichiro Owach, and also Doreen Bayangana. We've been developing a short story for the stage that's a story about Kampala. And it's my first time to be at the Kampala International Theatre Festival, and I'm so excited.
So use that to get our attention, and then you can tell right to Ichiro, oh, you think it's bad to pay 500? You try one of the ones that where no one is cleaning them. So you don't understand. Oh.
Hi, my name is Karishma Bagani. I am a director and I'm originally from Kenya. This is my first time at the Kampala International Theatre Festival. I had the opportunity to stage manage one of the readings, Hills of Salt and Sugar, and what can I say? It's been such a wonderful experience so far. It's been so great knowing the ins of the system and then also being an audience member at all of these wonderful presentations during the festival.
It feels very powerful. And I'm also so excited about all of the very many different performances that are here. It feels like people have very different aesthetics and sort of questions around their work, and yet we're all kind of grappling with very similar questions around migration and place. And it's kind of striking to be reminded about the need for many stories.
I am one of the artistic directors of the Kampala International Theatre Festival, and I'm also a director of Tebere Arts Foundation, which co-produces this festival. This is our 5th edition. We have had 4 editions in the past, and we feel like we are making milestones as far as theatre industry in this country is concerned. This year we changed the venue yet again, and we are at the Uganda Museum. We chose this venue because of the performances we selected for this edition. We felt that they would fit very, very well in this space because the recurring theme of most of the projects we selected is identity, and what better place to bring these conversations and these projects than bring them at the Uganda Museum.
My name is Adong Margaret. I'm a Ugandan actress. That already says I'm from Uganda. I am at the KITF 2018.
There's a very big sense of community around this theatre festival. We kind of all have lunch together, have dinner together. It's very nice that meals are provided.
It's great because all of these in-between times that you have, whether it's dinner or whether it's walking up to the next show, are great for networking. I know that I found so many of my future collaborators within this space, and I look forward to seeing the magic that happens when we work together on something.
When we started this festival, one of the things we were really passionate about was to be able to do theatre differently, to explore ways of bringing unconventional kind of theatre and also have it performed and presented in unconventional spaces. And what do I mean by unconventional? I mean spaces that were not originally designed for theatre performances. So, for example, when you look at the different spaces where we have had performances, in this festival, you will realize that these spaces that are not really designed for theater. So, for example, where I'm speaking from right now, this is a car gallery, and some of the performances that we had here had something to do with migration, with the refugee crisis. And so we thought that there's no other space that would really work so well than this space. And also the historical connotation of this place being a Uganda museum, but something that was set up by the colonialists, trying to explore the relationship that we as a country have with our former colonial masters.
The best part was the way that things were put together, in the sense that we had a panel discussion in the beginning, and all of the plays had sort of a similar theme. The discussions after the show also helped, just in terms of unpacking the content and engaging with an audience. So that was a great thing.
Exchange of thoughts, exchange of skill. Even exchange, having Ugandans and South Africans work together in productions. I think that definitely is something we have a lot to learn from each other, I think.
And I think it became really apparent to me at the Q&A on Friday that just how much we have an ethos as a company to get unheard voices heard. We feel very strongly about it. And I realised, hearing everybody else that was here, that everyone was on the same wavelength, and the people that created this festival had the same sort of integrity and heart and wish that we had. And I felt very aligned with this festival. And those that have a political message within theatre, or those that are trying to give voice to something that needs to be heard, it feels like they should come here and share their work in this space. I would recommend that.
I was an audience member attending the KIOT 2018, and of course, as always, it has been a pleasure. And I've been able to witness two powerful plays, both from Uganda. That is Arrest the Poem, and of course, A Ghost Story.
I think the festival itself is curated in such a magnificent way. One thing that I would think about in the future is, and I know that it's been done in the past, is having front-loading and back-loading conversations. So we have a lot of talkbacks, and I think something that I know was done in the past, and I'm sure will be reintroduced, is giving the audience a little bit more of an awareness before they walk into the space to think about certain questions, to think about certain things when walking into a play. Because oftentimes with festivals, the challenge can be that people can walk in thinking about it as purely entertainment, which it is a great weekend of entertainment, but what's more? What's the point? What's the intention? It's well done in the talkbacks, and I think it could be helpful to do it before we walk into the space as well. So it becomes a fully curated experience.
Let's just dance. I'm like, no, spice. You stand that side. I dance this side.
I came with a show called No Rest in the Kingdom. It's our first time on the continent of Africa, and and of course our first time in Uganda as well. It's also a second international show. I was really nervous about how it was gonna, it has very many Indian and actually very city references. It's not even, India's so large, you can't make a show about India. So it's very, very specific in terms of cities. I was really trying to figure out whether it would land, and I think it did. I think a lot of people understood and related and enjoyed themselves, which is really important for this show especially, that you have a good time.
But actually, I'm really interested to hear how you are using comedy, because I think comedy has been used as a weapon in a lot of ways, and as a tool of misogyny and like trans misogyny and just all types of misogyny. I can think of like Jimmy Kimmel's early career. A lot of people don't, and just a lot of shows and pop culture. And I can think of some Hollywood movies that I know of too that use humor. Yeah, they use humor to point out, like, oh, whatever. And so I was wondering how you thought of using comedy in a different way to make this production, and if that's a trend in your other work too, and how you de-weaponize that.
My only way to do this is to do it authentically. To take the experience that I have on the street, in the house, at work, and marry it with my idea of making theatre, because I've also worked as a theatre maker for a long time. It's not just about activism, it's about like how my breath is held or how a gesture means something. You know, there's a lot of craft that goes into making something. I have a friend in Bangalore who knows Asimwe really well, and he put it out and he said, I think your show will be really like the correct show to go there, so why don't you apply? And then but they had already applied by then, so they were a few steps ahead of me, and then he's constantly been putting us in touch.
Fortunately, we weren't able to secure funding last year, and we worked very hard to come here and share these stories. We brought Evros, the crossing river, here to share the stories of the refugee crisis across the ages, starting in Syria, going back French Huguenots, Armenian genocide.
Then spread her feet into red slippers and carried the tudors down to the shared baths, where she paid a 500 coin to bathe. Her fat buttocks, fat thighs and arms reminded her of the aunties she had visited as a child.
Past the wide green space of Kololo Airstrip, a corner of it tinted with army camouflage as if the country was at war. Over strangely smooth roads past high walls carpeted in green vine.
To say about me, but see my ears. They are attached to my head and are working properly. You like to call me a killer of progress. Accuse me of taking you back to the Stone Age.
For the blood of our sons and the wrenching wails of our daughters, the revolution returned in measure. Neon lights, TV, cold beers, radio. Oh, but no drugs for our children. And tree shades and junkyards for schools.
I acted as His Majesty the King.
I played the role of Opio, the ghost.
This afternoon we had the pleasure to witness a ghost story which was written by Lord Lutara, and of course Wobulenzi Amoti Kangere directed the play.
I think it's a very interesting story, and we enjoyed the experience because it's a story that reflects the realities of our time.
I just came out of the ghost story. It's the second time I watched this theater show, and I just loved every bit of it.
PC Plindle, Harper, McCraney, Willoughby, Peters, Salisbury, Lincoln and Brown. Did you get any of that? PC Plindle, Harper, McCraney, Willoughby, Peters, Salisbury, Lincoln and Brown. And those are just the ones in the first van.
A Day in a Life, I am going back to watch. Like, that's definitely.
A Day in the Life is one of the plays that I watched this early afternoon, and When Swallows Cry is the second one. and both of them have just been really phenomenal. The acting has been just superb, the subject matter. I'm really impressed by the selection of plays at the festival this year, and I'm very happy that I was able to attend.
It was so universal, and it tells an individual story. It tracks an individual that could be any individual around the world. It just feels, the lack of power. So. But it was very, very good. And the quality, is, I think since the first festival, each festival we've discovered new talent, like you. Then Kemi Ondo was our first discovery, and we've had her at our cafe performing the same play. We've had Tropical Fish performing at the cafe as well. And I hope maybe I can attract one of these.
I still believe there is a fight against racism, though some people don't want to say it. But then I know deep down, some of us, even here in Uganda, we look at the white people and we are biased. Some other people take them still as gods, like they see something special about them. We discriminate against color, which shouldn't be. So
all these different productions, they are all dealing with the topic of identity, they're all dealing with the topic of migration, and you can really see that these topics, they are like the main topics in life, and it doesn't matter where you come from, but you always search for your identity, you always search for this meaning of life.
This was the first time that When Swallows Cry was performed as part of the Kampala International Theatre Festival. It was an interesting experience, we didn't know what to expect coming here, so there were no thoughts or ideas of what it would be like, and so the whole time was really just an amazing time of awakening and realizing and meeting, Ugandans, meeting people from other countries as well. 2 productions from the UK, and also a production from India and Iranian.
What I've seen here is out of words. Like, you just breathe talent. I don't know. I'm just very impressed and very glad to have been part of the festival.
Uganda has talent, Uganda attracts talent, and we should keep at it.
Thank you very much for having When Swallows Cry here. I know that people really, really enjoyed it, and all the best for the rest of the festivals that come up in Kampala.
And of course, as always, it has been a pleasure that KITF continues to break boundaries and of course break the walls that seems to shape the kind of narrative that we want to witness in our country.
So it has been really an amazing journey of 5 years of producing this festival, and we are very excited and look forward to the future. And we hope that the artists that get to participate become our great ambassadors, and our local artists get to have an opportunity to interact with their counterparts from elsewhere. So thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you at our 6th edition in 2019. Thank you. Bye.
KITF forever.
Forever.
KITF forever.